Hello, hello, everybody. Let me go ahead and good evening. I am on. I'll double check to make sure that I am on. Move over a little bit here. All right, let's see if y'all can hear me. Um, okay. I hope that you can hear me. I'm going to double check here and then we're going to get going because this is going to be 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes at the most. Give me just 1 second. Oh, and so in the chat, you guys, well, first of all, welcome. Welcome to our Sunday Soul Care. And tonight it's going to be something new that I have not done in a while. Actually, it's not brand new, but like I've done it before. But on this tonight, usually our Sunday Soul Care, it's very focused towards just checking in, which we are going to check in right now with how did your week go? How was your energy? Um, how are you feeling? Um, all of those things. Let me go ahead and let Janelle know that I'm on. Oh no, am I not showing up? Okay, let's see where I'm at. I apologize if this is, wait, no, I'm not there. Hmm. I don't know where I am right now, but I hope that I'm going live inside of the group. Can somebody like love I am live. Okay, I'm live in there. Can somebody love or like or something this video so I can find it on my page? That would be helpful, but let's get to it. Okay. Oh, so as you guys know, well, first of all, again, comment in the in below. How are you feeling? How was your week? It's a good time to check in with how did this go? How did it go this week? What went well? What didn't go so well? And what do we need to do differently? So we have less than 6 weeks. We have 6 weeks left, I think, exactly, of this year. And we're doing the 6 week experience over on Telegram, and I've gotten some amazing feedback. I've done a bunch of one-on-ones with the ones that joined, and it lights me up and it reminds me of why I love to do this work so much. And we truly are being very intentional with what it is that we are doing in our life. We're being very intentional with our self-healing. We're being very intentional with what it is we want to experience in our life. Over there at the 6 week experience, it's really about clearing out what we don't want to take on with us in 2026. But more importantly, it's learning the mechanisms of manifestation primarily, right? Learning the mechanisms of co-creation, conscious co-creation. We've been co-creating this entire time, you guys. We've never not manifested. You're manifesting right now, okay? You're creating your reality right now. So whether you are aware of it or you are not aware of it, it doesn't really matter. Your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your decisions are all determine what you experience in your life, okay? And how you experience it. Oh, thank you guys so much. Hi, Carlos. You've had a good week. Amazing. Janelle, hello. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm gonna make sure that the sound is not horrible. So okay, cool. All right, we're good. Okay, let's get into it. You guys ready? Because you're literally this one skill I want to teach about tonight. I usually use these to we go into the soul work, we pull cards, or it's about, meditation, which I will be bringing more of that into here in 2026. Because I know that's what you guys like to do. And tonight you're going to learn why it's so important. Okay. But this last week in the experience, it was belief. This week, it's about acceptance. Acceptance was the game changer for me. It changed my life. And I'm not just saying that. Like, it shifted my life in a way that I cannot explain. You can only understand it if you experience it. And Janelle, since you're on here, the thing, that happened with between you and Rayleigh in the kitchen and how you guys just kind of surrendered, that is the feeling of acceptance. And inside of the 6 week thing, I really want it to be an embodiment and I want it to be a application of all of the things we've learned and not just another 6 weeks of everyone learning stuff. You guys, I'm done with fucking learning. Who else is done with learning? Who else is just done? I won't even say learning. I'll say who else is done with collecting information? Okay, we're done with that. I'm not going to be throwing a lot of information at you guys anymore. I'm going to work my hardest. The thing that I want to really step into in these 6 weeks as a teacher is just upping my game on creating the container and the experience that I know will help your energy shift, right? And for me to be a safer space, right? Like I am working on things just as well as you guys are. So let's get into it because I want this to be 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not gonna, no, we're not. I'm gonna do a good job here. I promise. Okay. So first, let me just go ahead and get this down here. Okay. So you guys can sit back and chill, listen, or take notes. Actually, you should probably take notes. I'm going to share a slide here in a second. And then at the end, we are going to do a 1 minute practice or just like a quick practice. We'll do it together in order for you to shift your energy in times of resistance. Okay. So let's do this. I'm so excited. Okay. All right. So let's get fucking real. No more, no more of this um, no more of like this half-ass energy that I have felt, even for myself. I'm saying no more half-ass energy. So tonight we're talking about why your energy gets chaotic with your partner, with your kids, with your family, with anyone close to you, right? But primarily what we're going to talk about here because for me, it came up in a relationship, a romantic relationship, and then with my children. Those are the two examples I have for you guys tonight. And so for you, if you're currently in a relationship, or you currently are a mom, or you currently are feeling like, um, if you are currently frustrated because someone in your life is not doing what you believe they should do, stay here. Watch out. Watch this, okay? Because this is what it is. So, what we're going to learn is why you feel yourself react before you even think, and how acceptance instantly clears your channel and brings you back online. Remember, we are clearing out the channel to create better experiences. That's the outcome of the 6 week experience that we're doing in Telegram. And so if you want more of this, just put Telegram in the comments and say, I want to be in that because it is a focused place. You don't get distracted with a bunch of other stuff. Telegram is amazing for specific intentional learning, right? I said we were going to learn, but like intentional action, right? You're looking at one thing. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna share real quick. I want to share a couple points with you. The first point that I want to teach on is resistance contracts your channel. This is also about energy healing. If energy healing is very like esoteric or like woo-woo or like up there for you, this is going to bring it way down to earth. It's going to ground you in it. This is exactly what happens, okay? All right. So, when you mentally fight what's happening, your body goes into defense. Not because you're wrong, but because your nervous system thinks you're unsafe. Now, on the surface though, it looks like, and I'll show you the slide here in a second, but on the surface, what this looks like, what we think it is we are trying to be right and the other person is wrong. Or it looks like, when your partner doesn't respond the way that you want, right? If they don't text back when you text them and then you're waiting hours and they text back, or when your kid melts down or talks back to us, right? When our kid won't clean their room, when our kid won't do what we want them to do, when a family member repeats the same old behavior. In addiction, a lot of times it's our family who, like, we get clean and we go into recovery, and then our family is like expecting us to have this old behavior, or vice versa. If there's somebody in your family who has been off and on in addiction, and then the holidays usually it's like, oh, they're back on drugs or whatever. I don't, whatever, with the judgment. And then when someone doesn't think or believe like you, I want you guys to think right now. Right. Think of when a partner doesn't respond the way you want, or they didn't treat you the way that you treated them. That's the one that I get a lot from people, is like, I treat them this way, but they don't treat me this. Or like when your kid talks back, when a family member repeats the same old behavior, or when someone doesn't think or believe like you. This is resistance. Okay. And every time we resist who they are being in that moment, it throws a wrench. Okay. It throws a wrench into our entire energetic system. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share this with you. Um, Let me hold on a second here. Wait a minute. Did I just close it on accident? Okay, I'm still here. Hi guys. Trying to figure this out. Okay, hold on. We're gonna share, and then we're gonna go here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay. So, hi Jake, hi Lisa, hi Teresa, hi Kayla. Okay. So, do you guys see, and I'm going to bring this up here, that you guys see on the screen. And I apologize if you see, well, I don't want you to see my face. So, this is about, resistance versus flow. So when we are in resistance over here on the left side of the screen, this is this is our energetic system. It's like a flowing stream, okay? Think of that. It's like a flowing stream. And on the other side, this is when it's in flow, right? Those boulders are not there. The tree looks healthy. Okay. So these boulders, you want to think of these boulders as the resistance that we feel when someone does not do so, or sorry, when someone does not do what we want them to, when our kids talk back, when our kids don't listen to us, okay, when our partner doesn't respond, when a family member repeats the same old behavior, when someone doesn't think like us or believe like us, if we immediately, try to, we have resistance, we're throwing boulders in that flow, okay? And then it depletes life force energy. Look, our tree is very like dead, okay? But then you come over here to flow. Okay, this is how we get it. How do we, when we get the boulders out of there, when we start to soften, when we practice presence, when our intuition comes back online, energy is moving, love is rising, right? So every time we resist who they're being in that moment, it throws boulders into our river, which is like a tight chest, short fuse, shadow patterns take over. Okay. This is what happens. This is what the blocked side looks like. This is energy healing. This is the whole reason to heal with energy, is because on a foundational level, every disease starts with this flow of energy or lack thereof. And of course, you guys know we use the chakras at least for me, and I know any of my students, the chakras are a tool to use to manage that. So the second point I want to make here, so we're going to go over here to the right side. Okay, so let's say let me give you a story. So when Avon hated me, Avon is my son, and him and my boyfriend got into a fight and he left my house. He was 16 because he smoked weed and David was mad and they got in a physical altercation. And he hated me after that. He thought that I chose David over him. And he would text me, I hate you, or you ruined my life. You would all these things. My son was saying this to me. And I was a mess. My nervous system was constantly in fight or flight. I overreacted, you guys. Oh my God. I remember one time I took him to a doctor's appointment and on our way back, he pissed me off. He said something about something like wanting David to die or like, I don't know. And I stopped the car and just fucking was like, get the fuck out of my car. And the overthinking, the controlling energy, the disconnection. Okay. I want you to think right now for yourself right now. When have you felt this way? When you are so like when your kids don't do what you want them to and you go instantly to yelling or screaming, this is what's happening, okay? So when, though, after a while, because Avon was like, will you pay my phone bill? Will you, I need some food. Da, 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 da. So I was doing all these things for him. And then one day, okay, let's go over here to the right side, the flow side. I had an epiphany or an awake. I don't know what the fuck happened. But in that moment, I was like, all right, I'm going to detach. I think this is really when I learned detachment. I was like, you know what? I am going to detach from this and I'm going to allow him to have his own experience. I'm going to also quit fighting and resisting the fact that he is not he's not behaving the way I want him to. He doesn't like me. He doesn't love me. I want him to love me. And so that's wrong of him, right? So acceptance shifted my body from threat into safety. I softened. I brought my focus back in on myself. I practiced presence. My intuition started to get stronger because of that my channel was opening up and clearing out. I could feel that's when I really got into chakra work and started moving energy through my body. And I started coming from this place of unconditional love for myself first and then for everyone else. And guess what, you guys? Guess what happened when I did all of that? My son and I are best friends. Like, he's my best friend. I absolutely love him. If we hadn't done that, if I hadn't backed away, if I didn't allow him to have his own experience, which I want you guys to write that down, then I don't know what we'd be doing. So safety equals flow. Okay. Safety equals flow. Flow equals intuition, and intuition equals emotional leadership. So thinking instead, for me, it was with Avon, it was this is who he is in this moment. Instead of me wanting him to be different, this is who he is in this moment. My child is having a big feeling. It's that and not defining their future. A lot of times as parents, we can think that the way that our children are acting or our grandchildren are acting right now, that it means that that's how they're going to be for the rest of their life. Okay. We go into like dramatic thinking. Another example is, what we could say is, I don't have to control this moment to stay powerful. That is powerful. I don't have to control this moment to stay powerful. And so acceptance is the energetic inhale. The moment your shoulders drop, your breath gets deeper and your channel reopens, right? We anchor back into it's when this river opens again, everything moves, our clarity comes back, our intuition comes online, and we respond instead of react. Okay? Please take a screenshot of this or something. I will probably add some more. I'll post this. I'll add like what to do or like, yeah, actually here, this is what happens. And then when we put a boulder in it, this is what happens. When we take them out, this is what happens. And that boulder is really resistance. I need to change that to resistance. So back to this. Let me go ahead and get off of here. Um, I, like I said a minute ago, I cannot tell you how powerful this practice of acceptance was for me when it came to I just explained about with Avon. Um, But now I'll explain a little bit more my third point I wanted to make. So, first, the first point is resistance contracts your channel. Okay. The second is acceptance clears the channel. Okay. And then number three, the third point we're making here is acceptance is the fastest way to change the relationship dynamic, hands down. Acceptance is the fastest way to change the relationship dynamic of anything, right? So acceptance isn't passive. I want to say this real quick. Acceptance isn't being, okay, I'll just accept them as they are. I'm accepting everything as it is. I'm just going to be passive and not even try to change anything. I'm just going to be like, oh, it is what it is. No, it's power. It flips the dynamic instantly because it stabilizes you, you guys. Do you get what I'm saying? When you have an unregulated nervous system and you're trying to, let's say, so like in my relationship, right? In the beginning, it was not the best. Okay. There was a lot of toxicity. Whew, there was a lot. There was drug use, right? We were both using drugs. I just remember feeling like, especially when I stopped really like doing part drugs and partying and he kept doing it, I was like, you know what? That's okay. Like I started to practice like allow him to be who he is. And I heard that voice. I heard that sentence. I don't know where it came from, but it was see what happens when you just allow someone to be who they are. I want you to think about for yourself. If you think about, something that you felt embarrassment and shame, or maybe when you go to, maybe something happened, you fucked up, I don't know, or maybe you didn't even fuck up. Um, Maybe you shifted. Okay. For me, it was I shifted. I had this spiritual awakening. I no longer really was a hardcore Christian or whatever. I never was a hardcore Christian, but believing in that type of, the Christianity way, I shifted into energy work a little bit. Oh, and brought it with me, right? The parts that served me. Um, and whenever I would go to my aunt's house, my uncle's there. And I felt my nervous system just like tense up because he didn't agree. It was like, he basically would tell my mom what she's doing is not okay. Um, or like with David, when David would bring up my past, I want you guys to think about if someone always brought up your past about and was like, oh, you slept with a lot of people and you were a whore. I want you guys to just really feel this though. When somebody has not accepted you for who you are, how have you shown up? When maybe you were in addiction and you were using, and so someone was constantly like, okay, where'd you go? Where'd you go? What'd you do? Why'd you do that? Da, 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 right? How did you feel? How did you show up in your life? You were like, fuck this, right? It felt really bad because to be judged, right? We feel like we're judged from everyone. But now I want you to think about a space where someone allowed you to be who you are without needing you to be any different in order for them to feel okay. Like they completely accepted you for your flaws and your past and your shortcomings. They accepted every part of you. They didn't make you feel bad for the choices that you made. Like none of that. It was just this space of like, ooh, I can be who I fucking am. I don't have to pretend anymore. You feel the shift in that, right? So when you're in acceptance, you're no longer reacting to their behavior, right? You're not reacting to your partner's behavior or you're not reacting to your child's behavior. You're leading the energy of the move of the moment, right? We're modeling what this looks like, but we're leading the energy. When we're in reaction mode, we're literally follow like something else is controlling us. And so some examples are of what this will look like when you start to do this. When you start to practice acceptance and when you're no longer reacting to their behavior, here's what will happen. Arguments dissolve faster, way faster. Kids calm down sooner, okay? Partners soften. And what's interesting is they won't know how to respond at first. I remember when I first started doing this with David or like my sister. Oh, I remember too with my sister, I was doing this or I started practicing this. And they didn't know what was happening. It was like their eyes were like, okay, I'm not used to this because think about it, you guys. Like, how many people are used to someone saying, okay, like with my sister, it was she's late all the time, which by the way, I'm late too, but my sister's like really late. And I remember when I started practicing acceptance, we were at a holiday or something. I don't know why the holidays keep coming up because they're about to be here. But I remember her saying, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm late. I know I'm late. And I just gave her a hug and was like, that's okay. I'm just happy to see you. Right? There was no, oh my God, you're so late. And now I can't, blah, 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 blah. Like in the resistance of like, and resistance means wanting someone to fucking be different than what they are, right? Or whatever they did, it's wrong and you know better. So, but yeah, it's so interesting to me that when you start to practice this, how the responses are. Also, you stop matching the chaos, right? Because your energy no longer matches that energy of chaos. The energy starts to open up and flow. Conversations become safer. Solutions show up. Like this just happened last week, right? This happened, Janelle, this is what happened with you and Rayleigh. I mean, please drop an example if anything's coming to your mind right now, like, because that's the connection we make, right? When I, like at work in the clinic, I hate it. I don't like being there. I really don't. It makes my body feel crazy. But last week, because now we're practicing in the 6 week experience, we're doing acceptance this week. But last week, I like, you know what? I'm accepting everything as it is. Like, what are the facts of the situation? I'll teach you guys here in a second how to do this. But what are the facts here? Okay, I'm working here. I'm helping out. Blah blah blah. For a minute, I'm just like I'm accepting everything as it is. And I'm going to trust, I'm going to detach from it needing to be or look any certain way. And when I did that, first of all, I felt my energy get, expand. Then all of a sudden, I channeled this idea that I've had the whole time, to pitch to HR because I am getting to know her. I really, getting in good there. I'm like, I'm going to pitch the idea, what I want to do, which is to offer life coaching, to offer, like, have an organization to work with organizations, get contracts to offer life coaching to their employees, the ones that work in mental health and addiction. And that idea came through me again, and I started focusing on that, right? Instead of how much I fucking hated being there. And my energy was different, okay? And people can do that. So this is when your river becomes magnetic instead of reactive, like literally magnetic, because then you know what happened? Then my HR girl was like, hey, like after I did all that with my thoughts and my body, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This is what I'm going to work on. I think like the next day or the day after, I was in her office and she's like, hey, the morale around here is really down. And I know you're a spiritual life coach. Like, I would love some help with getting it back up. Like, I didn't even have to say anything yet. I haven't pitched anything. I hadn't even, nothing. That's what happens when you practice this. Okay. It's fucking magic. Okay. So if tonight hit something deep for you guys, first of all, does energy work make more sense? Do you know what you're doing? Like on a very basic level, do you understand that you are, um, like, do you understand how it works, right? What we're really doing with energy work and opening up the channel, right? And resistance equals stuckness, right? We have a block. And acceptance of somebody or ourselves opens up that channel and gets rid of the boulders. It allows life force energy to come back in. It turns on our intuition. There's actually something else I wanted to, where'd it go here? Okay. Oh, yes, I want to do the 1 minute. We're going to do the acceptance thing, but let me see comments really quick. Let me see if you guys are saying, because we're almost done. I am at a half an hour. Um, Let me see what you guys have said, and then we will wrap this up. Okay. Hi, Jake. Okay. Girl. Okay. Girl, applying acceptance to my relationship with Rayleigh is already starting to change things. Yes. I want you guys to practice this in your relationships. Please. If you have a hard time right now, and I'm saying it might even be like our child might have done something horrible. I even go all to say like murdered someone. And we say, okay, you know what? This is what they've done. This is, it's when we don't make someone wrong for being who they are. Okay? When you don't make someone else wrong for being different than you, that is, or thinking different or believing different or whatever, when you just allow people to be who they are, guess what happens? Guess what happens? Then more people are going to start treating us the same way. They're going to allow us to be who we are. And if you are in a relationship with a narcissist, okay, and Jake, you are on here, I'm going to be getting way deeper into narcissism and empath or narcissistic relationships because I feel that I am qualified to do that because I have literally used that a relationship that everyone would say, oh, it's narcissistic and oh, he's toxic and oh, blah, 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 blah. Like I have grown so much in this relationship and I've also turned it in a way that it serves me, that his narcissism brought out my narcissism. First of all, I was very narcissistic. Okay. So we can go into all that at some point, but this is acceptance of the narcissist, whatever, right? You're just accepting that, okay, we're not going to try to change somebody. But I wanted to share how to do this real quick as far as doing just kind of like a 1 minute little recheck thing. Um, and also what resistance sounds like sometimes is like, why won't he or she just listen? Or my kids shouldn't be acting like this, or I need them to stop doing that thing that they're doing, or they're wrong and I'm right. That's a big one, right? That's a really, really big one. But anytime we're trying to fix, change, or control creates contraction, okay? And our energy shuts down. But when we are, but when we say acceptance looks like this is who he or she is right now, and I am safe. Or, my child is having a moment, it's not defining their future. Or they're allowed to be different from me. Or I don't have to match their energy to stay powerful. That's a really powerful one. If you write one down, I'd write that. I don't have to match their energy to be powerful. And so, um, what it looks like in the body, I didn't share this part, is like the breath deepens, the shoulders drop, our heart opens, our nervous system finds safety, we regulate it. There's so much that happens. Okay. So we're going to do this 1 minute reset. Okay. Number one, first of all, you can just take a deep breath in. Okay, just take a deep breath in. And when you're activated, this is for when you're overwhelmed, when you feel triggered, when you feel tense, or you're about to react. All right, you're going to practice the pause. You're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. I feel triggered. I feel activated. Number one, you're going to name what's true. Okay, you're going to name what's true. I'm activated. My body is tense. My channel is closing, right? Awareness unclenches the first layer. Number two, pause the story. Drop the mental narrative, stop imagining what it means, stop predicting the next 10 years, right? You're interrupting the spiral. You're doing that pattern interrupt when you start to really, overthink, spiral with your thoughts. And number three is accept the moment as is, okay? And you can say one of these, this is the moment I'm in, or this is who they are right now. This doesn't define who I am. Let them be who they are. I'll be who I am. I don't have to fight this, right? And you'll feel your shoulders soften, feel your breath drop lower. This is your channel reopening, okay? So, if you want to go deeper into all of this, if you want to do real time, like practice in real time, if you want to do a one-on-one with me, and do the group coaching calls, we have 3 coming up. Um, this is the work, you guys. This is the work we're doing inside of that experience and the 6-week experience in Telegram. Clearing the channel so we can lead from intuition, safety, and soul instead of survival mode. Okay? So, all right, you guys, thanks for being here. Love you all. I will see you guys Wednesday. If you want to join, put Telegram. Okay? Love you guys.